Becoming an educator in the industry is a goal that I'm sure a lot of you have. You love to teach, you have valuable content to share, and you want to help others in the industry grow. But how do you market yourself as an educator? In today's video, I'm going to share with you guys some quick tips you can start doing right now to market yourself as an educator in the creative industry. You're sharing content on your blog and you're giving tips and tricks with your Instagram audience on your feed and on Insta Story, yet you still don't feel like you've officially reached educator status. While being an educator in the industry takes a lot more than just a good marketing strategy, there are some tactical, practical marketing tips you can start using right now to propel that aspect of your business forward. Let's look at what they are. 1. Call yourself an educator. Y'all, this is no time for imposter syndrome. I know that it can feel really scary to boldly step out and say, I am an educator. But if you want other people to believe that about you, you have to start calling yourself that. Make sure educator is in your Instagram bio, on your website copy, and even used on podcast interviews and other speaking bios that you give. You have to title yourself the title that you want other people to associate with you. 2, give. Some days, let's face it, you're going to feel like all you ever do is give advice and tips. But that's exactly what education is all about. Your audience needs to see that you have value to give and that you give it over and over and over again. Now, this doesn't mean you need to share every day about all the things, but make sure that your content calendar is filled with pockets of education. For example, I don't send out a newsletter every day, so technically I'm not giving daily educational content. But when I do send out a newsletter, I try to make sure it's packed with juicy bits of info that my audience will look forward to hearing about. Have you ever read Gary Vaynerchuk's Jab, 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 Right Hook? If not, you absolutely should. I'll make sure I link it below. Essentially, my rule of thumb for my newsletters is that for every 4 newsletters, 3 are giving and 1 is selling, either a direct ask for a course, a shop item, or an affiliate link or promotion. Give, sell. 3. Know your cornerstone content. You should already have content buckets in your business, and I'll link a video I did before about content buckets. Within your content buckets, you have to have cornerstone topics. I tell my coaching clients that they need to have educational pillars in their business. Educational pillars are your cornerstone content. For you, you need to determine what is your cornerstone content. What are the things that you're known for? What does your audience expect to hear you teach on? What are you equipped to teach on? Remember, education isn't just regurgitating information. Education is taking information that you know, that you've used in your business through trial and error, and now you're equipped to educate on it. So think about your life as a business owner and what are the things that you are an expert at. Understand exactly what your audience is looking for and what you want to teach on so that you can hone in on that, really niche down, and become a true expert in that area. A few great examples of this, and I'm going to link these people below. So many links in today's video. 1, Jessica Rasdell. She's a business coach for educators. She's created cornerstone content teaching educators how to write signature talks, pitch speaking engagements, and all in all, become better educators. Another example, my biz bestie, Megan Martin. She's a marketing guru and a web designer. And over the last 2 years, she's really honed in on marketing content and web design specific content throughout her blog, her newsletter, and her Instagram content. And another awesome example of this is my other business friend, Caitlin James. Caitlin focuses specifically on education for photographers. And while some of her content definitely applies to other creative business owners, she's really niched down to speak specifically to photographers and the pain points that wedding photographers have on wedding day and engagement sessions, post-wedding, throughout the entire wedding process. If you're not sure what your cornerstone content should be, think about the content buckets you have in your business, and I want you to ask yourself a couple questions. 1, which one is directly related to revenue in your business? Which ones are you asked about the most? What are those FAQs, whether in DMs or in emails or on blog posts? And when you share a post or write an article, which one do people want more of? Which one are they constantly asking you for or asking even more questions about? Those couple questions will give you a really good idea of what content buckets you already have in your business can morph into cornerstone topics for you. Tip number 4, stay consistent. Like everything else in business, y'all, you have to stay consistent with your education. There are rarely, aka never, an overnight success in the creative industry. I know it might look like somebody is an overnight success, but they're doing a lot of work on the back end before they actually become successful. Becoming known for the content you create will take time. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You have to constantly share useful, helpful, and practical education to your community, to your platform, so that they will keep coming back to you and they'll tell other people that you are the expert on that topic. So be consistent with the content that you put out, and you will reap the benefits of seeing that content work for you in the long term as an educator. Number 5. Put yourself out there. Just like number 1, y'all, remember when I said you have to title yourself an educator, this isn't the time for that imposter syndrome. This is the time for you to throw your hat in the ring and put yourself out there. Make a list right now of the speaking engagements and the podcasts that you'd like to be a part of. Then send those emails, reach out to those hosts, become an active member in their DMs, right? Let them know who you are and why you want to be a part of their community. Sure, they might say no, y'all. I have to say no to some of the educators that pitch to me for Creative at Heart. But the truth is, you just don't know if somebody is going to say no until you ask. Maybe their calendar is full, and that's why they can't accept you. Or maybe they love what you bring to the table, but it's just not the right time right now. Or on a positive note, maybe they love it and it is the right time. You'll never know until you take a chance and put yourself out there and ask. Number 6. Don't think you're gonna make the big bucks quickly. This is a huge misconception in the creative industry, y'all. So many of my coaching clients come to me thinking that being an educator will all of a sudden add dollar signs to their bank account, and that is not the case. Remember, first of all, it takes time. We have to give before we can have that ask. And secondly, the majority of speaking engagements in the creative industry pay very little, if at all. Speaking engagements are used to continue to build your platform for additional revenue streams that you have in your business, like coaching or a product shop or a course. They allow you to get your face out there in front of more people who will look at you and think that you are the expert on the paid products and services that you have. So it's a common misconception that a speaking engagement will actually equal dollar signs in your bank account. Remember, just like putting out content, this is a marathon and not a sprint. If you're jumping into education right now thinking that you're going to make 6 figures in 2020, let's just say you might not be doing it for the right reasons. Number 7, understand why you want to be an educator. You need to have a clear direction. Ask yourself, why do you want to be seen as an educator? Do you view success as being an educator? Does being an educator seem sexy or trendy to you? It's okay if you do. Let me disclaimer side note with that right here. I love being an educator and having the ability to speak and teach and travel and meet so many different creatives all across the country. And I also love that education right now truly is a revenue stream in my business. But that isn't the only reason I love being an educator. That is not the driving force behind why I want to educate. You have to figure out what's the driving force behind it. Maybe you love the idea of someday hosting your own mastermind or creating a passive income online shop so that you can continue to serve more people or pour even more into fewer one-on-one clients. If you don't have a clear goal in mind for why you want to educate, then you're going to get lost in the shuffle and you won't have a clear sense of direction driving you to educate. Like a lot of things in our business, It takes hard work and dedication to market yourself as an educator. And if you don't know why you're doing it, then you might give up when the going gets tough. So understanding the heart behind it, understanding your why will help you navigate those tough seasons. And tip number 8, my last tip for you guys, and one that might be a little bit scary to some of you. Start using video content in your business right now. As a conference host, y'all, this is one of the very first things I look for when someone pitches to me to be a part of either Creative 24/7, my membership community, or Creative at Heart conference. I want to see their face. I want to see them on video. It doesn't have to be official like a YouTube channel or professionally filmed footage on your website. It can be something as simple as Instagram stories. But as soon as that pitch email comes to me, I'm immediately looking on their website, looking on their Instagram, and getting a feel for who they are. I want to see that you are comfortable in front of the camera, so I know that other conference and podcast hosts are going to feel the same. So start making Insta Story a regular part of your business routine, and not just Insta Story like what you just ate at Chick-fil-A, but Insta Story business tips. One day a week, jump on Insta Story and talk about that weekly blog post, or talk about this one tip you have for prepping for your wedding that Saturday. Share those quick wins with your audience to build yourself up as an educator to do all of those other things we mentioned today, and also show that conference and podcast host that you are comfortable on camera, that you can speak in complete sentences, that you can hold your own and very clearly communicate the education that you have to offer. So, what do you guys think? If you have any questions about marketing yourself as an educator, please comment below. I'm also going to make sure that I link all the things I said in the description box. I would love to chat with y'all and help you move yourself forward and really build a platform through education in your business. If you want additional free resources, be sure to take our What's Your Creative Personality test for specific custom content related to your season of business.